Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well today. It's another day of just random stuff as usual here. I think we'll start with this computer because I think that's where we left off last time, was talking about this computer here. So I suppose we'll continue with that. If I remember correctly, we left off with the sad face on the screen. So, well, what is that all about? Well, I found out that the drive that has Windows on it is just corrupt. There's something wrong with it. So I took out all the hard drives out of its caddy here, and I looked at them one at a time. First of all, I was surprised at the capacity. One of them is 3 terabytes, one is 4 terabytes, one is 6 terabytes, and this one is 8 terabytes. So this computer had a lot of storage in it. Obviously it was a media center PC, so understandable. But everything else in here is functional, at least to the best that I can tell. I haven't loaded Windows to it, but I can get it to boot from a CD. I have all kinds of different Windows CDs, DVDs here to boot from, and they all boot just fine. So it's just something with these drives. And I tried to look at what's on the other drives, but something's up with them. I can see partitions on them. I can't figure out what type of partitions they are to read them. I've tried them in a Mac. I've tried them in different Windows machines. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Don't matter to me. I just need to wipe them anyway. I don't remember in the last clip of this, but I went and picked up a keyboard for $2. It's this Lenovo here. And this is great because now I don't have to use that wireless one or the Apple one that I had out here before. This is a nice little just plug it in and go keyboard without having to worry about it, because I don't really have one here, surprisingly. Anyway, so my goal with this is to put it in a different case. So I went online and I found a different case from Cooler Master, I think I chose, and it still has drive bays in it and stuff, and a whole bunch of bays for hard drives, and it'll fit this full-size ATX motherboard inside, and I'll just use it for something else. And I bought an SSD. Obviously it's from 2012, it's not the fastest stuff, but I don't need the fastest thing. If I need the fastest thing, I have my Mac for that, and that works fine. But sometimes you need a Windows machine to do some Windows programs, so this will be great for that, because all the Windows machines I've had are usually pieced together things that you tinker with, and I've enjoyed that. The one that I had in college that I used for programming is back at my parents' house, so it'll be nice to have another Windows machine for projects and whatnot. Other than that, you probably saw this thing sitting here. I picked this up at the Goodwill this week. I was like, well, it definitely looks old, so I'll pick it up. Obviously, we have our cord here, and I really want to turn it on, so I'll get this rubber band out. So with it plugged in, let's turn it on. It's got a really nice frosted red glass globe on it, and for some reason I want to say this thing was probably on a vessel, or some type of marine watercraft. I'm not entirely sure. It could be something totally different, but for whatever reason it gives me that vibe. But yeah, a really nice glass globe here. So, well, what is this thing? It looks like somebody put this together out of another fixture or something. So there's 2 screws here that screwed this down to its wooden base. If you take that off, you'll find it used to screw onto some type of fixture, and they drilled holes here to put it on. And then we have our glass globe, and as you can see, it has that nice kind of frosted finish on it. Really cool. This thing has to be old. There's something written there, as you can see. Was that GBI or GB1 or something? I can't find anything else on it, but it definitely has some weight to it, so it's got to be, it can't be too modern. And look at this. This is their solution to making this fixture. What in the world is that? Well, first of all, before we get to the main thing, they put these wooden spacers here to bring it up to, so this rim would touch the collar. Obviously, whatever to that, because they can just fall off. Okay, and then we have just a bare socket. Well, that's fine if that's the neutral, I suppose, but if you wired it up wrong, that's live, and that's not good. don't do this. Put something around it to be extra safe. So yeah, we're gonna unplug it just in case we touch it here. But as you can see, it has one of the slider switches. You can slide it from one side to another. They literally just super glued it. They like must have drilled a hole, put this base on it, super glued it in place, and that is super janky. I don't know. I don't think I'll keep it like this. If I do keep this on this base, I think I'll do it differently because the spacers don't work well. The socket is not safe. Don't do this. Oh, but we do get a nice little GE bulb here. It is 40 watt with the non-supported filament naturally. So yeah, that's a unique thing. Other than that, the first thing that I want to do is clear off the bench here. It's full of stuff from just the week accumulating. So I'm going to clean all this off, put the computer at least together because I don't have the case yet or any of the stuff. And whenever that case comes in, we'll put it all in there. But we'll get this all cleaned up and usable again. I picked up these interesting lights at the thrift store this past week. I saw one of these once at the Restore, but I didn't pick it up. It was a little much for what it was. So I just let it be. But here's a couple of them. So, well, what are these things? First of all, it says it's from Air Filter Sales and Service Company, wherever that is. Camera's too far away for me to read. But this is what's inside. It's this little orange light with an old Westinghouse tubular bulb, a switch, and one of these blinker flashers in line with the wire. They literally just soldered it on there and wrapped electrical tape around it. I'm sure you could desolder that and use it for its intended purpose. Put it into the socket. I don't know why they just didn't do that. But for $3, I thought I'd pick up the ones that were new in box anyway. Some of them were open because, you know, people open things to see what they are, and they were missing pieces. So I just got the ones that were brand new in box. This one was too, but I took it out to share with all of you. And here's the instructions that's inside. So if you want to read about what this thing is, obviously it says somewhere that it's like a address indicator light, but then you can put it on your porch, of course. Well, I suppose it's where you'd want your address to be, and then but it's also emergency vehicle alert, so I guess maybe they're doing it in a way that they can find your house quicker. I'm guessing here you put the switch in line, so you can either use the regular switch on your wall or the switch here to make it flash. Interesting. Don't know much about them really. There's not a sticker on it. Of course, you have your orange cover here. They don't give you any number stickers to put on them. Here's the etch on the bulb. There's absolutely nothing on the back. And I don't know if I'll keep them like this, or any of them, really. But the parts, the pieces that it comes with are great. Here you get a wonderful old Philips Westinghouse bulb. You get one of the little flashers. You get a nice switch for projects. And the socket here has actual terminals on it that you can unscrew the wires. That's nice too. So I don't know if I'll actually keep them and use them, but I think I'll actually just scrap them for parts because there's a lot of pretty nice parts here. Real interesting light though. Real neat orange cover. Would have been interesting to see what numbers or whatever it would have came with, unless literally it's just a porch light. I mean, it kind of reminds me of something that you'd have on an RV, but for your house. Odd. Here's the flasher. Obviously this one isn't good anymore, it's all rusted, but that's what they did. Interesting. I still don't understand why they just didn't put it in there. They probably don't want people to, well, then it would have to be on all the time. Flashing, that is, where here you can choose if you want it to flash. Interesting solution to that. Hopefully the other ones, this box had a lot of water damage, but hopefully the other ones are in much better shape and I can just desolder these wires here. I guess we'll see. Just as one computer gets put away for the moment, another one takes its place. I found this at the Value Village last night for $11. Obviously, it's nothing amazing, but I thought for that price, let's pick it up and see what we can do with it. It's obviously a Dell Optiplex 170L, Pentium 4, Windows XP. In here's the USB ports. Yep. And looks like you got audio out there as well. I turned it on at the store. The lights lit up. I couldn't get the drawer to open on the disk drive, but I was like, that's good enough. At least I know it has life, because I think these being around 2005, they have capacitor issues. So I have it hooked up here. Obviously, I tried it out last night, and well, it just won't boot. But I come to find out that whoever donated this to the thrift store was smart enough to at least wipe the hard drive. All of the computers that I've gotten at thrift stores and stuff have never had their hard drives wiped, but this person was at least smart enough to do that before donating it. Inside, we have our space heater, the Pentium 4, 2 sticks of RAM. Let's see if it says what we got here. 512 a piece, so a gig of RAM in here. I'm not sure if it had a graphics card or something, because the blank is missing here. Power supply. Of course, we have our CD and I'm sure DVD drive, our floppy disk drive, and our hard drive. So obviously I couldn't get it to do anything. I took the hard drive out. It's a 40 gigabyte Seagate, so it has to be original. And once I got it here, the CD drive works absolutely fine as well. So that's pretty good. I don't see, I think there's one right there. That's a capacitor that's starting to go. It's a little bloated on the top there, but other than that, I don't see really any others. It's just that tall one right there. Maybe there's some over here. Those are the tops of them. Look just a little bit. The camera wants to focus on everything but anyway, it does turn on for the moment. So, let's close it up. And I'll plug it in and we'll turn it on. Of course, as soon as I plug it in, it turns on, so. I have one of these, but it's a smaller form factor. So it uses a laptop style CD, DVD drive. It's the next step down from this. I don't remember off the top of my head the different sizing names for all of these. But right after, like, the mid tower came this, and then there was the small form factor, and then there's like the ultra small form factor, which is even smaller. I don't remember what they called this one. Okay, see now, oh, there it goes. I must have took the Windows XP disk out, so let me find it here and put it back in. It's a Dell disk and everything. Now the nice thing about that, using the original Dell reinstall disks, is that it should automatically authenticate Windows all by itself without having to use the actual service to do so. You know what, I gotta set the date and time. I think it doesn't have that. And here we go. So we'll install Windows XP and come back. Got the studs out. Just need to figure out what to do with those nails so they don't get hurt on them while installing or uninstalling the machine here. But other than that, it wasn't too hard. They came out real easily. And that gives them all the access they need. Thought it'd be a good time to get those studs out real quick, since this thing's just, you know, copying files and taking its usual long time. Piano and picture frame lights are nothing new to find at the thrift store. However, I found this one quite interesting, at least enough for me to pick it up. The interesting thing here is it has a movable arm, so you can adjust it however length you'd like. Obviously, it's incandescent. But here's the interesting thing. This isn't just an ordinary switch. This is a dimmer switch. So you can dim the light. The other interesting thing is it uses a candelabra-based bulb. And it's on the opposite side of the dimmer. So we have our dimmer over here, and the wires just feed on over to a candelabra-based socket. Now I'm pretty sure the dimmer has a capacity of doing bulbs higher than 25 watts, but they probably say 25 watts so you don't get this fixture too hot and potentially hurt yourself. But yeah, I thought it was interesting, the fact that it had a dimmer on the one end, and it does work. Let me plug it in here. Works absolutely fine. It has a no-name, I think a bulb from Taiwan in here. It's got a nice filament design though. 120 volt, 25 watt, Taiwan, yep. Could be original to the light. Would have been neat if they had a piano style one. I debated if I should replace the socket with a medium base one, because I'm sure a piano bulb would fit in here, no problem. But yeah, interesting. It's always amazing how quick Windows boots when it's brand new. I got some drivers to fix this problem, so let's try those out. That's a much better resolution. Got Service Pack 3 installed, and well, I don't know what I'll do with it now. It seems to be working just fine. Probably put some programs on it. Not entirely sure. It was just a fun project to do, really. As always, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. And also please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.